Welcome once again to your weekly update from the city of New Hope. Joining us, the Mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you on this fine day?
Hi, Dave. Golf this morning. It was beautiful outside.
It does look great in the picture behind you there, and we're going to talk about the golf course in a few minutes and other things happening in the city. But let's begin with what's happening today as we record this. It is primary election today, and you wanted to pass along a few notes about today and also what's coming up with the general election.
Well, this is a primary day, so we're trying to get people out to vote on that primary. They can go onto the website that's on the screen. That's mnvotes.org, and then type in New Hope, or they can find any election in the state if they want to see what the results are. If you voted in this election and you ask for an absentee ballot, you'll get an absentee ballot for the general election also. And you should have gotten a postcard that tells you where to vote. And that postcard will be also good for where you're going to vote for the general election in November. So keep the postcard, or at least remember where you're supposed to go to vote.
And again, that website, mnvotes.org, great place to find out information about what's coming up and also some results from today, primary day. Community development news, a lot happening here. Let's talk about 39th in Wisconsin. What is the latest on that property?
Well, that is a group home that had 3 disorderly conduct citations in the last year. And so we weren't making any progress getting them to behave, if you will. So we pulled their rental license. Now I've heard that they asked for a point of sale inspection, and they're going to put the house on the market. They had 45 days to move the clients out of the house. I don't know if they have done that already, but I do have to tell people we're watching very carefully on who that house gets sold to. Because when we pulled the license, the owner could not apply for another license at that house for a year, or anyone connected to him. So we don't want him just to change the name of his company and rebuy the house for $1. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that. Group homes are run, if they're run well, they do really well in the neighborhood. But if they're not run well, it's really uncomfortable for the neighbors. And we don't want that to be that way.
Very good. Thank you for the update. The Rave Awards, we've been talking about this for quite some time, and it sounds like we have some winners to be recognized.
We do. We had 16 houses nominated, and we have 5 winners, and the rocks are now being engraved for those winners, and they'll be presented later in August, that last meeting in August.
Congratulations to all those winners. Let's talk about the Open to Business program, something that's been around for quite some time, but people might not remember or might not know what it is. Remind us about that great program that's part of New Hope as well.
Well, Open to Business, the cities, New Hope and Golden Valley, pay for the service, but it's free for people to use. And if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, and it's mostly small business owners, and you need some help with either a business plan or how to get some financing, they don't necessarily finance the business, but it is free, and they'll help you either get started with your business or to change it if you need some changes to be made. So you can go type in Open to Business, or you can always call City Hall, and they'll connect you with the person to talk to. And typically it's a one-on-one. You go and sit with the guy that runs Open to Business, and they'll help you.
Website, newhopemn.gov, if you want to find out more on the city's website. Dakota Growers Pasta, we've been talking about some work at that plant. What is the latest there?
Well, that's on 36th and about Maryland, and they're making pasta there, a lot of pasta. And of course, there's big fans blowing out because they're drying it there, and those big fans make noise. So we've tried all kinds of things with them. They've changed the filters, and they've tried to block off the sound. Well, now they've entered into a 3-process stage to contain that noise from the plant. We're in the last phase of that. So hopefully once this is in, it'll cut down on that noise that the neighbors are putting up with from them.
Very good. Let's talk about scattered site housing, a couple properties to update residents on. The first is the corner of 42nd and Boone, a lot of activity happening there. What's the latest as that property moves through its journey here?
That's the old treehouse property. So once again, the fire department's going to do some additional training in the building. So if you see the fire engines there, there's not a fire, they're just doing some training there. In the meantime, we've also gone out to bids for demolition people to come in. So those bids will come back, and then on the 12th of September, we'll pick a demolition company to demolish the two houses that are there. And then once that happens, you'll start seeing some real movement going on. I just heard that they're removing some of the big rocks and they're using them at the golf course here and there. So nothing is being wasted. They're trying to use what they can before the demolition team comes in and starts leveling the ground and getting ready to build.
One other property to mention, let's move up to 58th and Boone. Progress report on that property as well.
Oh, those poor neighbors. I feel so bad for them. So this has been boarded up for quite some time. What happened is the house went in, the people that were living in the house went into a care facility, and the house is inhabitable. And so it's been boarded up, but in the meantime, there's been a lot of garbage and trash in the yard, and it got foreclosed upon. And this foreclosure takes a 6-month period before it actually goes back to the bank. So that's kind of where we are now. But we had somebody come out and remove the trash that was there, and that'll get put on the taxes on that property. Well, they also came out and removed 5 truckloads of debris that was in the yard. And again, that the city doesn't pay for that. That goes on to the tax bill of that property. So something is going to be happening, but it just takes forever when it goes into foreclosure like this. And since we don't have eminent domain, we have to just follow by the rules and just wait patiently. But so please, neighbors, be just a little bit more patient with us. We're trying.
Next update is from the police department, and one big item to talk about here. A week ago today, it was National Night Out, and it was a hot night. Tell us about all of the activities that evening.
Well, it was hot in more ways than one, by the way.
There you go.
So the police chief and I usually ride around together, and we went to about 10 parties, as many as we could get in the night. 15 of our police officers also went out, and they took all 5 of the council, or the 4 other council members out with them, and they go to as many parties as they can. Well, basically what we want to do is find out, is everything going okay? Do you need anything? Can we help in any way? This is a good time to be able to talk to your police department while you're eating ice cream sandwiches that are running down your arm because it was hot.
It was a hot night, but good fun had by all. Let's move ahead to Public Works. We want to update folks on the utility bill certification. Numbers continue to go down here. What is the latest?
Well, I'll be doing this every week because I really want people to understand the city pays for the water when it comes into the water towers, and then it gets doled out to houses and apartment buildings. And if you don't pay that bill, the city has already paid for that water. So that means that bill gets spread out between all of the citizens. So we go through something called certification. If you're not paying your bill, we give you notices. We help you to find some kind of plan so you can pay that. So it started out at $3.19. It's now down to $2.99. So as we go get closer to November, and that's the last time, that'll go down quite a bit. We'd like to go down to 0, but it usually doesn't. So those properties that don't pay that water bill, that will then get certified to their taxes, and they will eventually pay it. But by that time, when they certify it, there's some heavy fines and fees that have to be paid along with that bill. So it really behooves you to get that bill paid if you can.
We will keep residents up to date on that. The Public Works Department has been busy in many other ways. Tell us about some of the miscellaneous projects that are going on throughout the city.
Well, they did a lot of curb repair this last year. And of course, they're doing all the things they normally do, cleaning out the catch basins, putting up some new signs at a couple of the parks. One of the things I want to mention to people, that if you had a curb repair, they came out and probably laid down some sod or some seed. You need to be watering that very heavily. It's really, really warm out. And if you don't water it a few times a day, that seed's going to die. They're not real happy about coming back the second and third time to reseed if you're not going to water. It's your responsibility as a homeowner to get that seed growing with lots of water. So please get out there and water the sod or the seed or whatever they put down, because if you don't, it's just going to die.
That is good to know. Another project we've been following is seal coat and fog seal, and it sounds like things are getting completed and all's going well.
They are on Boone and Flag. Boone and Flag, they did the seal coat. That's where they put down the tar and the rocks and they squish it in. They have to wait 10 to 14 days before they put on a seal coat. And what that is basically a varnish, like a top coat for fingernails.
Okay.
They just put that top coat on, but they have to wait the 10 to 14 days. So they're in the process. They got the seal coat done, but now they just have to wait until they can come back out and do the fog seal of that.
Let's move ahead to Park and Rec. And as you might imagine, again, in summer, a lot of activities happening here. And the first was another big success last weekend. It was perfect timing with all the heat. The Wet and Wild Day. Tell us about the wet fun people had.
It is so much fun. They have 5 large slides at a park in Crystal. And so what these slides are big plastic sheets that they stake down, and then the fire department comes out with their ladder truck and they spray water on that so the kids can slide down this big long slide. Well, I tried it one time. The problem is you have to walk back up the hill.
Right.
Enough of that. I wasn't going to do that twice. But when you're 12 years old, it's fun. So lots of kids there. They had a really good time. They've also got some kiddie slides for the younger ones to slide down. So the little ones don't have to go down this big long slide. But that's a real big hit every year. And the kids just have a fun time with it. Another big hit this year was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Right.
That was the play at the Civic Center Park, the Pavilion. Very well attended. Everybody had just rave reviews about that. We don't know what they're going to do next year. They usually keep us not informed until they've got it settled down, but they'll do something wonderful again next year. That performance center seems to work out really nice. There's this week there's a band playing there. I just want to remind people, if you are going to go, bring your lawn chair or a blanket to sit on, because there's no bleachers anymore. And you'll have to bring something to sit on, or sit on the grass and get bitten by mosquitoes and bugs.
Yep. So, great facility there in town. And again, hats off to the Off-Broadway Musical Theater. They do a great job each year. More Park and Rec news. It looks like we have end of seasons for some different activities. What's ending up right now?
So the park activities and the baseball, those are done. But now they're starting to register people for flag football. They're also looking for volunteer coaches. And those coaches will get refunded the money that it cost their child to be in that sport at the end of the season. So if you're feeling inclined to be a volunteer coach for flag football, love to have you. Again, go onto the website under Park and Rec. If you can't navigate through that website, you can always just call City Hall and they'll connect you with somebody that can help you.
Fantastic. Let's talk about softball playoffs going on. And if you want to get out in the parks here in the coming week, you might see some great games.
Well, the men's softball league is playing Monday, and here it is Tuesday already, Monday and Wednesday of this week, and this is the championship playoffs for them. So they're always fun to see. I don't know where they are, but you should be able to go online and look. I would guess they're probably at Lighted Field or at Northwood Park, one of those two, and they're probably in the late afternoon, evening time frame.
Other work happening in the parks has to do with basketball courts and tennis courts. What is happening there to keep them in great shape?
Well, Lions Park is getting their basketball court redone, and Bayesian Park has got just some crack sealing that they're doing there on their tennis court. Now there's another one, Liberty Park. It has a big crack right down the middle of the court. They're only going to patch that as best they can because that court is scheduled to have a complete overhaul next year, and they don't want to spend too much money on maintenance. So they'll fix the big crack with kind of a temporary seal on it, but it won't be permanent. Next year it'll be a new one.
All right. At the beginning of our discussion, we mentioned the golf course that's behind the mayor there. Take us to the golf course once again. How are things going there? How busy is the course these days?
Well, of course, there was another tournament there last Sunday. Seems to be lots of tournaments and lots of rental of that back patio back there. So the summer leagues are still being done. There are some tee times, but you need to go either online or call. Don't just show up, because you might show up in time for a league that's just getting started. The fall league sign up is starting now. So if you want to sign up for a fall league, you can certainly do that. The crew out there is busily trying to keep the flowers and the plants watered. It seems like there's a whole lot more plants than there ever was there. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
But that also takes a lot of time and energy to water and weed that.
It does. The ice arena was a place to be this past weekend with lots of skating activity. And throughout the week, there's a lot going on. Give us that quick overview of the ice arena.
Well, I have to read some of this because
Okay.
it's so busy. So at the ice arena, there's lots of camps going on. So they have a dryland training camp, but they also have goaltending camps and skating camps and things for the younger skaters. But this part I think is kind of cool. We rent that ice arena out to Minnesota Hockey High Performance Program, the Minnesota Blades AAA, Minnesota All-Star Hockey players. So all of these big guys, these are adults, by the way.
Right.
They rent ice from us and they come and they practice there. Because being able to practice there, they tell me that because our ice is colder than most places, they like to play there because you can skate faster, the pucks fly better.
Okay. Good
I don't
to
know.
I like
I
it.
don't skate.
Another busy spot is the Aquatic Park. So things continue to go well there, but we have a date for people to remember now to get their swimming in by. What is that date?
They do. Well, the swimming lessons are done, but of course the water walking and the open swimming is still going on. So the water park will close on the 21st of August for open swimming. And the reason for that is the kids go back to school, the lifeguards, and some of the staff that works the concessions. We can get along without the concession staff people, but we cannot get along without the lifeguards. So when those lifeguards go, we just can't keep the pool open. So I don't know if there'll still be like a water walking. They can walk in the vortex pool. I'm guessing because that doesn't take the lifeguard, that may stay open.
Okay.
Not sure. I'll know next week whether or not the 21st is a complete close down or just a close down of open swimming.
All right, got it. But get out there quickly and utilize that pool. Couple final notes to pass along. One, under communications, a lot of information going out now about the Citizens Police Academy. Help us understand a little bit more what that is and why residents might want to sign up.
Well, the cities of Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley, the police departments get together and they do a 7-week program. It's called the Police Academy, and it's on Tuesday evenings, and they expect people that sign up to attend all 7 of the classes. So they have until the 13th of September to sign up. There's a limited number of people that can be in the class, and it's free. So if you want to be part of that, you need to get yourself signed up. You can either call the police department non-emergency line, or you can call City Hall and tell them you want to sign up for the police department or for the police academy, and they'll get you off to where you're supposed to be.
Very good. And again, more information about the Community Police Academy on the website, newhopemn.gov. Final note, you had a note to pass along that came from the League of Minnesota Cities, which New Hope is a part of. Tell us about a local honor.
Well, this is kind of exciting. It's our senator, by the way. So 837 member cities have voted to give Ann Rest the Legislator of Distinction Award for 2022. That's a really big deal. She does a lot of things for the cities, and the cities really appreciate what she does. So the League of Minnesota every year gives out a Legislator of Distinction Award, and Ann Rest is this recipient of that.
Congratulations.
This is not the first time she's gotten that, by the way.
Congratulations to Senator Rest. And that will wrap up our update today from the City of New Hope. Again, a lot of information passed along. Go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, to find out all the details. Mayor Hemken, thanks once again for your time. Look forward to talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Dave.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.